One of the most common questions that we get here at Freedom Tax Accounting is, should I buy my real estate investment property under my name or under an LLC? And if I buy under an LLC, what benefits do I get? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Hello from Freedom Tax Accounting. We're an accounting firm where we have been providing quality tax and accounting services now for over 20 years. If you're new to this channel, we provide strategies for small business owners so they can achieve their financial goals. Now, here at Freedom Tax, we have been serving the community now for 22 years now, and we serve a lot of real estate investors. And they always ask us, what's the best business, legal, and tax structure for my real estate investments? And usually the best scenario would be to put them under an LLC. Why? So in this video, we're going to talk about the 5 LLC benefits for real estate investments. Now, you want to stay until the end because the 5th benefit, which is the last one that we're going to discuss, are the tax benefits of buying rental properties under an LLC, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper into those tax benefits under an LLC. Okay, now important to know that the information that we're going to provide in this video applies to U.S. citizens, U.S. green card holders, and it also applies for foreign nationals. Now, this is general information. Every case can be different. So please, before you do something with the information providing in this video, we always advise that you talk to a professional first. Talk to your CPA, talk to your tax attorney, talk to a corporate attorney. If you want to call us, we provide this consultation as well. So always ask a professional, get a consultation before you act on anything that you hear in any YouTube video, actually, because every case can be different, okay? Now, first of all, what is an LLC? An LLC is one of the legal business structures in the U.S. There's corporations, there are LLCs, there are LLPs, and the LLC stands for Limited Liability Company. Now, it's a very simple business structure that you can create, and you can create it by yourself, or you can have more owners, which in the LLC, the owners are called members. Now, the beauty of the LLC is it has a lot of legal advantages and it has a lot of tax advantages. So it's very simple to create and is very powerful for legal and tax advantages as well. So the first benefit of buying real estate property for investments under an LLC is privacy. Okay? Why? Because this means that the LLC's name and not your name is going to appear on all public documents and disclosures. So that gives you, as the owner, a little bit of privacy. Now, in some states, you may require to open up a holding company to have that privacy. Why? Because there are some states that even if you open up an LLC, that LLC information is public information in several states. So, for example, in Florida, if you open up an LLC, you can just go to the internet, look up the LLC name, and you know who are the owners. Now, that's not the case in every state. Now, if you're in a state that the owners of LLCs are public information, then you might want to consider this business structure, which is usually called a series LLC, or just having a holding company. Now, how does this work? For example, let's say that you have this LLC here, which is opened in a state where the owner's information is public. That means that if your name appears here under that LLC and you're in one of these states, anyone can know that you're the owner of that LLC. All right, now, but what happens if you open up an LLC here which usually is called a holding company, and you open it up in one of these states that give you privacy. For example, you can open up the holding company. We usually recommend that you open up the holding company in the state of Wyoming, because Wyoming gives the LLC members privacy. And then but your properties are in Florida. Let's say that your properties are in Florida, right? And you have several properties, and you're going to put one property under each LLC, but you want privacy. So what do? You make the holding company the owner of these LLCs. Okay? So basically, your name is going to appear here in the Wyoming holding company, but since Wyoming gives you privacy, it's going to be a lot difficult for people to know that you're the owner of the Wyoming LLC. And then if people look up these Florida LLCs, they're going to see that the owners are the Wyoming company. So your name is protected. All right. So that's the strategy for privacy if you're buying rental property in one of the states that do not provide privacy for LLC owners. So you do have options. Okay. Now, the second benefit of buying real estate under an LLC is for legal protection of assets. This means that the LLC and not you are liable for the company's debts and liabilities. Basically, this is one of the best, this is the main benefit of buying real estate investments under an LLC, is that you protect your personal assets. How? Because if you buy the rental property under your name, God forbid there's an accident in the property, now there's going to be a lawsuit. You can have the best insurance in the world, but the lawsuit is going to be under your name. That means that your personal assets are now at risk. So, but if the rental property is owned by the LLC, now if there is a lawsuit, the lawsuit is against the LLC, and your personal assets are protected, and only the LLC assets are at risk. Now, this is very good, but you must know that it's not 100% protection. A lot of people think as long as I have the property under the LLC, they cannot touch my assets. You do get a high level of protection, but you do not get 100% protection. Now, what cases, if you're the owner of the LLC who owns the rental property, how can you be personally liable even though the rental property is under the LLC name? Well, there's a lot of reasons. These are just a few. For example, let's say that you personally or directly injure someone, or you personally guarantee the bank loan, or you intentionally are doing something a fraud or illegal. In those cases, even though the LLC is under the LLC, the property is under the LLC name, if you are caught doing one of these things, now you're putting the property at risk. Or if you're doing something illegal in the rental home, then now your personal assets are at risk as well. So every state has different laws. So it's very important that you contact an attorney in your state to make sure and you understand what legal protection are you getting in your state, right? Now, the third benefit of owning real estate for investing under an LLC is that it makes it a lot easier to invest with partners. Obviously, a lot of people have enough money to buy real estate investments on their own, but a lot of people don't. Most of them, they need business partners. And believe me, it's better to to, let's say, don't wait until you have 100% of the money to invest in real estate. It's better to own 25% of something than 0% of anything. So a lot of people invest in real estate with partners because they don't have enough capital available. Okay, and the LLC makes it very simple to invest with partners, and it also makes it easier. Let's say that you invest with a partner in real estate, but now you want to sell your shares. Having the LLC makes that process easy. Or let's say that you have an LLC with several partners, and now you want to bring in new investors into that LLC. That process is very simple using the LLC business structure for real estate investments. Okay. Now, the fourth benefit of buying real estate for investing under an LLC is that it's a lot better for growth. Why? Because now you're not doing business under your name. You're doing business under a legal business entity. So that gives you a more professional appearance. So it gives you an advantage in the market to market your properties for commercial or residential tenants. So it also helps you if you want to acquire more a mortgage to buy more properties, because now if you're going to a bank to ask for more money for your investments, your professional appearance of doing business under the LLC is going to give you a better chance in front of the bank to get more capital, because they take you more seriously, because you are operating under a legal business structure and it's not under your name. Okay. And it's also a better business structure for growth as well. Okay. Why? It makes it a lot easier. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you have three different LCs and you have rental properties divided in three LLCs, and all of them are under your name. That means that you're gonna have to do tax reports for each one of those LLCs. So you're gonna have to have 3 times the accounting, 3 times the business tax returns you have to do toward the end of the year. You're gonna have to pay your CPA 3 times as much. Okay, this is not wrong, but it's going to cost you more. So that's where, again, having a series LLC, once you get to that point where your business is growing, your real estate investment business is growing, then once again, we recommend that you open up a holding company, and then having this holding company be the owner of these LLCs. What's going to happen there in this scenario, you're going to have to do 1, 2, 3 business tax returns. Here, whatever happens in these LLCs flow through the holding company. So instead of having to do 3 tax returns, you only have to do 1 tax return for the holding company. So you have the advantage of having your business growing, but now under the LLCs, you can then change the business structure under a holding company to make it the reporting a lot cheaper and simpler. Okay, so it's a lot better for growth as well. So now let's go to the fifth benefit, which is tax benefits. Okay, and we're gonna go a little bit deeper here. Okay, now if you buy real estate under your name and if you buy real estate under the LLC, unless you are in a higher income tax bracket, you're really not gonna see a lot of difference, and I'm gonna show you why. But the benefit of the LLC is that it keeps the door open to have options in the future when your income goes up, that you have other other tax options available under the LLC, because if you buy real estate under your name, you're basically stuck in one way of filing taxes. In the other hand, if you invest under the LLC, you have several options on how to report that taxable income, which once your rental income grows, you can take advantage of those different tax structures. Because if you buy under your name, you're stuck with only one way of paying taxes, and usually that's not the most beneficial way. Now, let's review how exactly rental income is taxed. Okay, so let's say that you have your house, your rental property, and you have it under an LLC, or you have it under your name. It really doesn't make a difference at this point. Okay, your rental property generates rental income. And during the year, you have all your rental expenses. This is the HOA, insurance, maintenance, repairs, all that you can deduct as a business expense. At the end of the year, you have your net profit. Okay. Now that's the income. And then this is you. All this net profit you have to report on your personal tax return as additional income. Even if the home is under an LLC, the net profit is still reported under your personal tax return as additional income. Now, if there's two or more owners of the LLC, okay, this is one owner, and now there's a second owner. What happens is this net profit now gets split. All right. For example, let's say that this business owner is 50% owner of the LLC, and this person is 50% owner of the LLC. That means that this net profit gets 50% reported here, and then the other 50% gets reported under this person. Okay. Now, this additional income that is being reported under your personal tax gets added to your household income. And now you are subject to federal income tax. Okay. Now, what's the federal income tax? You need to take a look at your personal tax brackets. And now this changes every year. This is the 2022 tax bracket. Okay. So how much money or how much in taxes are you going to pay from your rental income net profit? You have to take a look at your household income. Okay. If your household income is in this range, okay, this is for single filers and this is for married couples, then you're going to pay 10%. Okay. So you're going to pay the personal tax bracket income tax. Now, this is good if you are above this level, but once you go above this taxable income, you're starting to pay 24, 32, 35, 37% income tax. And that's where, if you're buying real estate under your name, you're stuck with those tax brackets. But if you buy under the LLC, you have options. You don't have to pay this high taxes. How? Let me explain. Okay. If you're buying a property under your name, okay, that means that if the property has one owner, you have, in the eyes of the IRS, you are a sole proprietor and you have to file your rental income tax under the IRS form Schedule E. That's your only option. If there's two or more owners of the property, but both owners or three owners, they're buying under their name, now in the eyes of the IRS, they are considered a partnership and they need to file Form 1065. And that's your only options. Now, these forms pay these taxes. Okay, so once again, if you go above these taxable income levels here, then you're paying too much taxes. So what's the difference with the LLC? With the LLC, the beauty is if you have one owner, yes, you pay the same way under the Schedule C. And if you're in those lower tax brackets, there's no difference. But once you're over these higher tax brackets here, then it doesn't work for you. The beauty of the LLC is that once you get to those income levels, you can change the LLC tax structure from a Schedule C to file as an S Corp, which for rental property, there doesn't gonna make a difference, but you can change it over to a C Corp, which files the 1120, which this year, 2022, this can change in the future. Right now, the corporate, and you pay a corporate tax rate of 21%. So 21% is still lower than these tax brackets here. So that's the beauty of the LLC, that it gives you options for taxes depending on your income. Now, if there's two or more owners, once again, you can file under the 1065, but once you get to those higher income levels, then you can change to file as a C Corp to pay a lower tax rate. Okay, so those are the 5 advantages of buying real estate under an LLC. And once again, every case is different. You should consult a professional if you want a professional consultation to discuss your specific case. We provide these consultations here at Freedom Tax. This is our contact information. Contact us and schedule your consultation so we can evaluate your case. And depending on where you're going to buy properties, how many properties, the value of each property, your current taxable income levels, all those elements determine the best legal and tax structure for your real estate investments, and we can help you structure that for your real estate business. Okay, so remember that Freedom Tax is also part of Freedom Group. We are a group of 4 companies where we provide tax accounting, immigration, real estate, insurance, and financial planning, so we can help you in many ways. Once again, thank you for watching this video. If you have received valuable information in this video, please like it and share it with another business owner. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Bye-bye.